Oh hey, it's your friend that needs you to remind them at least once a week leading up to any event because I've already forgotten your name, let alone that we had plans. Back for some more tech tea. So without further ado, let's get into it. Here are 4 tech updates to get you through the rest of your weekend. YouTube is rolling out a new feature for creators which will help you not get demonetized. Here's what you need to know. Over the years, YouTube and other social media platforms have been cracking down on creators using music or videos without rights. If you've ever watched a video and the audio is unavailable, chances are it's because the powers that be have slapped them on the wrist for using something that wasn't theirs. It's more of an issue for business profiles and creators that aren't monetized, which is not me, yet. The workaround for this is choosing audio which is either copyright or royalty free. The platforms usually have some generic ones available. There are also sites like Epidemic or Soundstripe, which is what I use. These have hundreds of smaller artists which you can use, and the site links with your account to prove that you have the right to use the creator's music. It's neat and not as limited. Now, thanks to AI, YouTube is allowing you a third option, or rather, a more robust first one. For YouTube creators which have opted in the Creator Insights program, you will now have access to Music Assistant, which is a beta program that allows you to create custom instrumentals with AI by just describing what you want the track to sound like. They're also rolling out a feature that will help sync the content you upload to a track such that the beat will match parts of the video. Much like their regular audio tracks and sound effects, these custom beats will be free to use and not subject to any copyright. Since this is currently in beta though, it is only available to a select number of users, and these users have to be enrolled into the program to even be eligible. To sign up for the beta or other experimental features, you can visit the Creator Insider page on YouTube. Baldur's Gate devs continue to spoil us by adding its 8th huge patch. Here's all the content it's bringing to the game. Over a year and a half after its initial release back in 2023, Larian has added so much to this masterpiece of an RPG, but it is reassuring fans that they're not planning on stopping anytime soon. This week, the company confirmed that it will be releasing its highly anticipated 8th patch this Tuesday. The patch has been out for a little while for beta testing, but Larian said that the stress tests are finalized and it's now ready for the general public. Among some bug fixes and enhancements, the company is bringing 12 new subclasses to the game, along with photo mode, crossplay, and split screen for Xbox Series S. Among the 12 subclasses is Paladin Oath of the Crown, which features traits like Righteous Clarity and Divine Allegiance. There's also a new Drunken Master subclass, which gives you abilities like Sobering Realization that sobers up drunk enemies, dealing both physical and psychic damage. There are others like Swarm Keeper, Cleric of Death, and so many more. The photo mode they tease seems to be extremely robust, allowing you to adjust all of the characters' poses, scenes, and lighting, and add different post-processing effects. And finally, they're releasing a co-op split screen to the Xbox Series S users, a feature available to most other platforms by day one. Baldur's Gate 3 is a game which was heavily featured as one that encourages multiplayer gameplay, although it needs a campaign dedicated to just that. But now Series S players can rejoice as local co-op is here, which, speaking of multiplayer, you can now play with more people than ever as crossplay is being implemented as well. Larian is proving that it's a great time to revisit last year's Game of the Year, and this time bring all your friends. Just know, if you're playing with me, my Paladin will not be wearing any clothes, and I call dibs on Gale. Okay, bye! Nintendo hears all of the cries from us about charging too much and doubles down. Here's your Nintendo Switch 2 news roundup. I covered the Switch 2 launch as well as made a pretty big rant about the fact that not only is the Switch 2 playing it safe, but they're pulling a 2019 BMW by nickel and diming fans for features you can get on other consoles for free. You know, like featuring a game chat button on your controller that you have to pay a monthly subscription to use. It's kind of like if Height charged $450 for this case, which is the new price for one, touted the touchscreen, but anytime you went to use it without paying $5 a month, it just gave you an ad about how cool the touchscreen is. Absolutely wild. I previously mentioned my biggest gripe with the console was making us pay extra money for Switch 2 editions when Xbox and PlayStation upgrade your last gen games to current ones with no extra cost. When pressed for answers, Nintendo elaborated that not only will said Switch 2 editions, like the over 8-year-old Breath of the Wild, cost $70, it doesn't even have the DLC included on it. In total, for Breath of the Wild and the expansion pass, it will cost $90 for digital versions. Now, arguably, the price will be less for users that are just upgrading from the original Switch versions, but it hasn't been clarified that the $10 upcharge includes the DLC or not. So there's a world where we have to pay twice for the DLCs we've already bought. We also got some minor updates on the tariff-related info this week as well. While Nintendo has still decided to halt the pre-orders for the Switch 2 in the US indefinitely, the company has said that it is ramping up production in Vietnam to be ready for the June 5th release window, and that it is preparing to sell the console at a loss, at least initially. This means that they don't have any plans to increase the price due to these tariffs, at least for now. Even though we can't pre-order, Nintendo does let you register for intent to buy on their website by using your Nintendo ID, but it's not really clear if this is just to gauge the demand on day one, or if it may use this data along with the Switch Online membership data like it had originally intended on doing to ensure users that have a membership and have played at least 50 hours this year get priority access to ordering one upon release. It's been a hot news week for Nintendo, okay? Hopefully we will learn more about the release plans, and as soon as we do, I'll make sure to keep you in the loop. And finally, the Anime Awards are upon us. Here's what you need to know about them. Crunchyroll is hosting their annual Anime Awards in a month's time, which means it's time to finish up casting your votes for who you want to win this year. Last year, Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer dominated most of the categories, with anime like Spy X Family and One Piece also being strong contenders in others. This year, the list is stacked, so let's take a dive into some of the categories you'll be voting on. The award breaks things up into 32 different categories, with some being the best voice cast from different languages, so we're really looking at like 24 awards in total. You'll be voting for categories like Must Protect at All Cost Characters, Best Anime Song, Background Art, Supporting Characters, Score, and a slew of different others. Of course, there's the final one, which is the Best Anime of the Year in Film, which includes 6 different anime: Dan Da Dan, Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren, Kaiju No. 8, Solo Leveling, and The Apothecary Diaries. There's a lot of creators which have voiced their own opinions on who they think should win, and while I have a ton of feelings, I will try to keep this space as unbiased as possible. I'm just eternally glad we're past the I got reincarnated as XYZ phase of anime and actually have some genuinely unique and great writing this year. The voting ends on the 14th at midnight, which means you have only 2 days to get the votes in for your favorites. You can actually vote once per day, so really you have 2 votes for each category if you start today. The awards air May 25th, so comment below if you want me to do a follow-up on where we landed and what you voted on. And that's all I got for now. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a beat from this ugly mug, and I'll see you back here on Wednesday for some more tech tea.